made the lineup again, Ben, and we're here with another topic. They clinched a playoff berth despite losing to the Jags. They were up 27-10 at one point before Trevor Lawrence decided to, show everybody why he was drafted number one last year. Continuing, his ascension to becoming one of the better quarterbacks in the league, caps off a great comeback. Him and Zay Jones put on for fantasy owners around the world yesterday. Your thoughts on the Cowboys? Panic meter 1 through 10 for the Cowboys?
I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record because we sound like one of these first take or get up in the morning with the Cowboys on every time. Albeit this very deserving the way that the Jaguars came back. I mean, it's pretty typical Cowboys. I think even as a fan, you would say like, fuck around, get lazy. I mean, look at what they dodged last week with the Texans. The Jaguars are a step above the Texans. You did the same thing. You fucked around. You found out. I mean, the Jags offense looks pretty good. Trevor Lawrence looking like that franchise QB. For the Cowboys, I think the bigger issues are losing some players, losing some guys on the O-line. Dalton Schultz had a horrible game. We know he's always injured. I'm not speculating or anything, but hey, he did horrible this week. So, Dak throwing 2 picks again. I mean, when are we going to stop giving this guy, breaks and excuses? Yes, the record is good, but it's okay. The record is good, but if you want to be talked about as contenders and serious, is it contender or pretender? The Cowboys are kind of showing more and more why they are or have been pretenders for the most part with this exact same nucleus of players.
Great teams find ways to, finish his victory and not give up that lead. They might, get down in the game after giving up a big lead, but the real contenders will, pretty much find a way to win that game there at the end that the Cowboys blew. And so that's why for me, this loss for me kind of solidified that the Cowboys are just a notch below the Eagles and the 49ers of the world, still not ready to make them favorites to win the NFC. And I say that even with Brock Purdy at quarterback for the 49ers. I just like the way that team's put together and their coaching. And, it just comes down to, situational football. We talk about it on the podcast all the time, so it comes down to being able to stop the nosebleed, right? Being able to stop the bleed before it gets out of control. So Cowboys definitely giving me some signs of worry here, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Secondary has always been one of those, hit or miss kind of things, led by Trayvon Diggs, either coming away with the interception or getting burned for a 70-yard touchdown. There's no in between with these guys, and that might end up being what does us in at the end of the year. Don't want to be a reactionary guy because I was the guy that jumped off the bandwagon as soon as I heard Dak was going to the IR week 2. So I don't want to be too reactionary. But my biggest takeaway is that the Cowboys are just a notch below the Eagles and the 49ers in the NFC. Any other takes?
They said Jalen Hurts kind of questionable coming into this week against you all, a Christmas Eve game. Could already hear it. You beat Minshew Mania, and y'all are going to start feeling yourselves again. We'll be talking about this next week.